Finally, after 7 different devlogs, we have good news. Vortex Studio has finally been released. This is open to the public for anyone to start building, and so far, many people have already created amazing maps. We also went through over 800 different applications to pick our first group of alpha testers for publishing, and they'll be able to publish to the platform in the coming week. On that note, Vortexia is also now the first ever game to reach over 100,000 visits. We're also so close to getting 100,000 users on the platform, which I think will hit shortly after this video releases. So let's talk about Studio first, because that's probably one of the most important things. This was released a little over 1 week ago, and the goal of this, as previously mentioned, was to make sure that any game you currently see on Vortex should be able to be recreated. Not only did we release it with the basic building tools, but we also added support for different texture customization and even materials. We also fixed some things that were shown before, such as unanchored parts flinging around with the character controller. A few days after its initial release, we also released lighting support, which allows you to create 2 different lights under parts. Point lights, which cast in all directions from a center, and spotlights, which have a cone shape. Not only that, you can also modify the default game lighting for ambient light, and also sunlight. All Vortex maps, including the new ones in Studio, now run on its own custom file extension, which is VRTX. And if you didn't know, we used to use JSON, but now our files are over 100 times more compressed. We plan on implementing the first version of scripting within 1 week, and this will allow creators to be able to actually make their games interactive. We also have Team Create planned in the near future, so you can edit games with your friends rather than having to share different files. You may also notice that the graphics look different. We briefly teased a small demo of our new graphics and it went really well, so we ended up releasing it to everyone in all games. This not only includes a better atmosphere, but it also includes the sun with different lens flares and camera effects, but you can toggle it off with different graphics settings in the settings menu. We also upgraded our tone mapping in both the client and Studio to match more realistic colors, and I think they look much better. We released a forum page where we're going to be posting some major announcements and also allowing community discussion. Now, a lot of people have been asking about how we plan on approaching moderation on Vortex, and specifically how we're going to do it different than other platforms have tried. So, we announced our most recent program a few days ago called Vortex Lighthouse. You can check the link in the description for the full forum post, but I'm thinking of just doing a whole other video on that because I think it's really important to talk about. Let me know if you think a separate video would be better in the comments. Speaking of moderation, we also added a full report system so our moderators can more easily handle different players, both in-game and on the website. This report system will also be expanded to include different games and stuff, and so we can see what's being reported the most. In the future, this will also integrate as part of Vortex Lighthouse. The chat filter has been improved, and instead of doing partial censoring now, we fully block the message if any part of it is flagged. And this is mostly because in most cases, you can still figure out the intent of a message if only part of it is censored. Throughout the weeks, we've been improving the security and performance of our website, and we fixed some issues with follow botting and also people getting more than 200 friends. Our friends limit might be expanded in the future though. In the previous devlog, we announced how we added support for 2-factor authentication, but we also recently added recovery codes in case you lose access to your device. And if you previously had this on, you can also regenerate new codes now. Recently, we started revamping our settings page, which is much more organized now. To keep your account protected, you can now manage every session that's logged into your account. Some common criticisms that we've gotten are the fact that there's no accessories, and also you need to create an account in order to view anything. To fix that, we already started working on our full accessory system, which I'll show on screen if I can. We also changed the website so that you no longer have to be logged in order to view different things. You can now look through player profiles and even game pages without having an account or being logged in. In the last video, I mentioned a roadmap, so let's briefly go over that again with a few important changes. Obviously, as already mentioned, we plan on releasing the first version of scripting this week. However, within the next few days, we're also going to be having our full accessory system, which is basically a demo of different types of accessories and maybe also hairs. Alongside that, we'll be releasing our physics revamp, which is something a lot of people have been asking for. Our current physics system has dozens of bugs and weird technicalities, but once we started revamping it, we decided it feels much more familiar. My goal is to have at least one fully scripted game by the end of the month, and we'll be hosting our first official event near the middle of September, but we'll have more information about that soon. That also means we'll be introducing badges, groups, and also a currency sometime before that. If you've been following Vortex for a while, you may remember this graph from Devlog 3, where I showed how switching from the website to the client app was much more performant. But still, I knew there was a lot of different stuff we could do to make this better. Recently, we showed our new performance for the brand new engine rewrite, and if you compare it to the old numbers, there's a noticeable difference. Previously, our engine would start lagging at around a couple thousand parts, but now we can handle over 10 to 20 times more than that. Our first building competition was capped at 2,000 parts primarily because of our engine performance, but now we'll be able to support much more. With the huge influx of players, we decided it was time to fully update all of our legal documents. Basically, it's a lot more specific to the platform now rather than being just a generic template. I won't go over it much in this video, but I would recommend reading through them if you want to know in more detail. Notably, Vortex is now 13 plus due to COPPA compliance, but we plan on expanding this in the future. I know this devlog is kind of late, but trust me, I've been working a constant 16 to 18 hours per day for the last few weeks. I'll try my best to stick to the 2-week schedule though, unless there's a really good reason to wait. But definitely make sure to join our Discord server because we post updates there almost daily, and they're also in much more detail than what we talk about in these videos. I also made a poll on YouTube a little while ago asking if you guys want to see engine demos and some teasers on YouTube, and that went really well, so I might start posting some shorter videos about those. Also make sure you subscribe if that stuff interests you. I can't wait for you guys to see what we have in stock for Vortex in the near future. Thank you everyone. But now we can handle over 10 to 20 times